Have you ever found yourself in a creative rut? As entrepreneurs, as people who create creative content, it can be really easy to stay so focused on the project that we're working on that when we reach that finish line and we look up and figure out what our next project is, it can be really hard to come up with something creative to do. Now, as somebody who creates a ton of content for multiple platforms and multiple businesses, I've got some advice that has worked really well for me over the last couple of years. And you know that I'm a multi-time best-selling fiction author, and one of the questions I get asked by people almost every single live stream I do is, how do you handle those roadblocks? What happens when you have writer's block? What do you do? So here are some things that I've tried that have worked really well. The first thing you need to know is that if you're struggling working on a project right now, it might not be the right project for you right now. The thing that you're working on could be a really great idea, but it might not be the right fit for you or your audience right now. It's okay to take the project you're working on and shelve it and come back to it later. Try working on another project. If you're struggling with the one you're working on now, working on something different could get you to the correct creative place. So put it aside. Come back to it in a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months, even next year. You don't have to do your ideas right this second for them to still be a good idea. It just means it's not the right time and place for you right now. So take that into consideration and try something else. But on a similar note, you want to make sure that you're working on different types of projects. If you really can't do anything in your business right now, if you just don't have that creative spark, try something entirely different. This can be writing a poem or going to a paint and sip class. It can be something like going on a photo walk where you're out in nature taking pictures. You can do something else creative to keep your mind engaged, but do not work on your work projects. Now, this can be something that you do in an hour and go back to it. This can be something you do in a day and go back to it. This can be something that you do for a week and then go back to your work. It doesn't have to be super short and it doesn't have to be super long. Just do something to stay in that creative mindset and then jump back into it when you are ready. Sometimes we just need space away to get that perspective in order to then take those next steps. So remember, you can shelve a project and walk away and come back later. You can take a break and go do something else creative and then come back. Another really great way to make sure that you are in the correct vibes for creating is to work with other creatives. Go be inspired by them, talk to them, use them as a sounding board, have conversations where you bounce ideas off of each other because they can point out where your trouble areas are and they can point out what's working really well and they can give you new ideas. In fact, today I had a conversation with another creative who was talking to me about live streaming. And when we were having that conversation, he just came up with these really cool ideas that would be amazing for me to leverage in one of my live streams that I hadn't thought of. And if we hadn't had that conversation, I would not have those for my live streams, and they could be revolutionary in what I do. So talk to other creatives, talk to other entrepreneurs, whether they're in your industry or outside of your industry. Use them as a sounding board and work things out together, because sometimes we just need that spark from somebody else to be able to create what we need to create. So step away, take that break, try another project, do something creative, and work with other people to get you back in the right mindset. But if none of that is working for you, please hear my words now. It is okay to take a break. We do not want to burn out. We do not want to hate the things that we're creating. So if you're struggling, if you need to take a breath from this, it's okay. Take a break. Do not work on anything. Go watch TV. Go hang out. Go play with your kids. Go do something. Take a vacation. Take a minute away if you're struggling. Because we all come up against those walls, and when we do, if we can't fight to get around them, we're gonna have to pause and wait for them to crumble so that we can move forward. So make sure as you are moving forward with your creative process that you have a couple of things in place. You've got other projects that you can work on, you have other creative things that you can do, you have a way to take a break, and you have people that you can then rely on to point out the flaws, the successful things, give you ideas, and take feedback with you so that you can build upon what you are doing. The creative process is a very unique one, and only people who are in the trenches with us understand what it's like to go through this. So if you need help with your creative process, drop me a comment down below. I am here to support you and to cheerlead you and to help bounce those ideas with you. So if you have no one else to turn to, I am your girl. Otherwise, get down in the comments and let me know, what's your favorite way to get around a creative block inside of your business? Let's share our tips and tricks so that we can all grow together.